Hello. I wanted to cover one facet of veganism that I kind of get flack on a lot. Why vegan? It's a bit extreme. Why not vegetarian? I wish you weren't my son. In this video I wanted to cover some information about the dairy industry, because most people, they have no qualms with supporting dairy. There's a lot of people that are vegetarian, and they are vegetarian for ethical reasons. They say, I don't want to eat meat, I don't want to hurt animals. Unfortunately, if you support the dairy industry, you're supporting an insane amount of cruelty, actually probably more than the meat industry, which is a shock to a lot of people. Right now, I just want to dive right into the facts, so let's get loony. I'm going to put him down now. There you go, Howard. Most people don't realize the shit that goes down in the dairy industry. The pictures that you're painted via advertising and logos with happy cows and advertisements with green meadows and happy farms, it paints a picture that is completely the opposite of what actually goes on in these farms. They're basically the same as factory farms. There's not a lot of space for these animals. There's cages. In order to produce milk, cows have to be pregnant, or they have to have just given birth, because the reason that they have milk is to feed their young. Why don't you say action?
Action.
No, just say it when we're actually going to start. One thing that people don't know is there's an immense amount of cruelty going on in the dairy industry. That's for good reason, because there's a ton of misinformation getting thrown every which way, because there's a lot of propaganda out there. One thing that goes on in the dairy industry is female cows are forcibly impregnated. Basically, they put a rubber glove on with bull semen and they shove it into their vaginas. Cows can't consent to this, nor would they. So that's pretty horrific. They're constantly kept pregnant the entire time so they can produce milk. And one thing that is crazy frustrating for me is there's a lot of feminists that fight for female rights, especially female reproductive rights, and they eat dairy. And that it just blows my mind how you can just shut off what's right and wrong in respect to, if it's animals, who gives a shit? If it's human animals, then there's a fucking revolution about it. And if you don't know about this stuff and you're just finding out now, welcome to knowing, and that's exactly why my face looks like this all the time. So what happens with the babies, Chris? They obviously get raised with their mom and everything's great, right? No, not at all. Nothing's good. So these moms, they give birth to a cow. Baby calf. If it's a girl, guess what? Dairy slave. Produced milk, kept pregnant. On and on and on. If it's a male, it gets sent to slaughter in 18 weeks. So this calf is pulled from the mom, separated, whether it's male or female, they're pulled away. So there's the dairy industry separating families. So that's what veal is the male calves that are pulled and killed when they're only 18 or 20 weeks old. These are just their babies, and they're sent to slaughter for meat. So Chris, I'm not ethically opposed to slaughtering babies and separating families. Why shouldn't I have milk? First of all, fuck you. Second of all, let me tell you about milk and what it is and what it's for. Milk is designed to turn a 65-pound calf into a 700-pound cow in as little time as possible. They're trying to rear their young with this food. Unless you are trying to fill the role of Sherman Klump in The Nutty Professor 3, there is no reason why you should be drinking this at all. It is designed to blow up a massive animal, gain as much weight as possible. Imagine getting underneath an alpaca and sucking from what I imagine would probably be a hairy finger with a nail on it. That's the only thing I could picture they would have for an udder, personally. Would you suckle from a human breast? You would not, because you are an adult human being. Would you suckle from a cow teat. No, you wouldn't. You're an adult human. But the unfortunate fact is we're so far removed from what we're ingesting in our bodies because everything comes packaged in these happy cartons with this, missing label with this 7-year-old little kid. The reason why they're missing is probably because they tried to suckle on a cow teat and they got kicked into a ravine. Candidly, our species has gone through some rough shit. We had no resources at one point. We did what we had to. We hunted. We wore fur. We found family members attractive. Our society has come so far from that point. We don't need cow's milk anymore. There are so many alternatives. There's flax milk, rice milk, almond milk, soy milk, cashew milk. Dairy is poison to us. 65% of the global population is lactose intolerant. So what does the dairy industry do? They make lactose-free milk for you. They sell you lactate pills, which I used to take because I was shitting my pants all over the free planet every time I drank milk or ate cheese. That would be like having a pile of shit, picking the corn out of it, and then eating the shit after. Milk is complete garbage and it completely destroys your body. Cheese contains casomorphins, which has an opioid effect on the body. So if you have a friend that goes to a cheese tasting and they wake up the next day in a sewer with a rat as a sensei, maybe you can understand how much shit this does to your body. But Chris, my bones are basically pieces of Pez stacked on top of each other and they're liable to explode into sugary powder at any minute. Where am I gonna get my calcium from? Let me help you. You can get calcium from broccoli, figs, edamame, tofu, oranges. If you go to the store and buy a giant box of fig fucking Newtons, you're actually gonna get calcium from that. So why shouldn't I eat or drink dairy milk? Tons of cholesterol, saturated fat, pus, hormones, addictive proteins, and the list goes on. And how about health effects? Diabetes, heart disease, ovarian cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer. All of your love bits could get all messed up, and that is no good, my friend. And do you want to know the kicker of all kickers? Milk might cause osteoporosis. It might weaken your bones. The dairy industry has been lying to us for decades upon decades, and we bought it. We bit the bait. We took it, and we are fighting for them. We're fighting their wars. We are fighting a battle for $1 billion industry. When you order a cheese pizza, you have to consider that a calf and a mother were separated. A calf was killed, a mother faced a life in bondage with painful machines stuck to her udders, causing infections. That mother gets killed at 4 to 5 years old. When you cast a coin into a well of suffering, the waves wash over lives and they're gone forever. So you have to consider what you're paying for, what you want to pay for.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
We're not fucking this thing up. Alright. Come on. Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hello.